Another really common way that we measure how spread out data is through quartiles. And this is all based on the median and different medians of different sections of our data. What we're doing here is we're looking at our data. Let's suppose that we can visualize our data as going from our minimum up to a maximum. The quartiles are numbers that divide our data into 4 equal parts. And that means a fourth of our data is in the first quartile, a fourth is in the second quartile, a fourth is in the third, etc., etc. And so we separate it into, and then we end up with these maybe rectangles. Denote them with rectangles. We've got here 25% of the data, 25%. And then we've got another section, and maybe it's really clumped up in there, so another 25% is there. And then maybe this is really spread out there. The next 25% of the data is there, and then maybe the last bit is that little bit. That's 25% of the data. So these are quartiles. Specifically, we're looking at these numbers here. This is the first quartile, denoted with Q1. Okay, the second is Q2, and then this third quartile here is Q3. And this Q2 is actually the median of the data. Okay, and then the Q1, okay, you can see that the data that's to the left of the median is split in half by Q1. That means this is the median of the bottom 50% of the data. And Q3 is the median of the top half of the data. Now, with the quartiles, we usually will describe the data using quartiles, but with what's called the 5-number summary. The 5-number summary is just that. It's 5 numbers that tell us 5 important values. And those values are the minimum, okay, the first quartile, the second quartile, which is the median, the third quartile, and the maximum. Okay, this is the 5-number summary. And so you compute all these numbers, and then you give the 5-number summary for a data set. You just list these 5 numbers. And that tells a lot of information. It tells about your range, because you know the minimum and the maximum. Of course, you've got your median. And then it shows where these quartiles are. Will actually show you kind of how things are grouped and how they're bunched up. Let's go ahead and compute the 5-number summary for this data. We have measured 9 females and their heights in inches. So from smallest to largest are these here. Okay. So our 5-number summary, we need, of course, the minimum and the maximum. Those are the absolute easiest to get. Okay. There's our minimum and our maximum. We also need the median. Okay. So to get our median, we're going to just find our middle number. So I'm going to cross off first and last, and first and last, first and last, and first and last. There's my median right there. Okay. So I've got my median, and then I need my first quartile and my third quartile. So what I do is I look at the bottom half of my data. Okay, so I've got my minimum, and I go up to, and I actually include up to and including the median. Okay, and we find the median of that data. So here I've got 5 numbers, and the middle value is that right there. It's 62. Okay, and then I do the same thing on the right side. So this here is the first quartile. Okay, I do the same thing on the right side. I take up to the biggest number and down through to the median. Okay, and I've got 5 numbers there, and I do the middle one, and that's my third quartile. So my 5-number summary is my minimum, 59, first quartile, median, third quartile, and max. Now with the 5-number summary, we actually do have a visual representation of that 5-number summary. It's called the box plot. Some people call it the box and whisker plot. And what we do here is we draw a number line, and we're going to create a box that encloses the middle 50%, meaning from the first quartile to the third quartile. And then we divide that box at the median. And then we draw whiskers that go out to the minimum and the maximum values. Okay, let me go ahead and do this example for you. We're going to create a box plot for this data. Okay, this is already in order for us. So that's nice. The first thing we need is to go through and do our 5-number summary. So we've got our minimum and our maximum. Okay, and I need the middle value. And looking at this, I see I've got 8 values. So my middle is actually going to be the average. It's going to be right here. It's going to be the average of these two numbers. So it's actually 65. Okay, so my median is 65. And then for my quartiles, I am going to go look at the left portion up to and including the median, and I find the median of what's left. Now here I've got 4 values, so my middle value is again going to be between the 60 and the 62, the average of 60 and 62, which is 61. Okay, that's my first quartile. For my third quartile, I do the same thing. I go from the median up to my maximum, and I need my middle number. So again, I'm going to look at my middle, and I see I've got 4 numbers here. So it's going to be between these two. It's going to be my third quartile. And I get the average of those two, and that's going to be 68. Okay, so my 5-number summary is 59, 61, 65, 68, and 70. Just a quick comment before I move on. It is possible for your 5-number summary to have repeats of numbers. Okay, the first quartile can be the same thing as the median. You would just have like lots of repeated numbers, like the same number would be repeated a lot. Okay, so it is possible to have some repeats here. Okay, now we're going to draw our box plot. So what I need is a number line. So there's a number line, and we can go ahead and label the important numbers below. So I've got from 59, I'm going up to 70 here. So let's go ahead and say that maybe here's 55. We'll go by 5. 55, 60, 65, and 70. And that's actually all I need. So there's our number line. And then above our number line, we're going to start drawing something. So we're going to create a box that encloses from the first quartile to the third quartile. So from 61 to 68. So that's right around there. Okay, I'll create a box. And then I draw a line where my median is, which is at 65. So it's right here. I draw a line. Okay. Then we draw whiskers, and that's from the far left of our box. We're going to draw down to the minimum, which is 59. So that's sort of right around here. So there's my whisker. And then I do a whisker on the right side. From my box, I go up to maximum, which is at 70. Okay. And sometimes people will draw a tiny little line there, tiny little line there, just to indicate that. Okay, and this is my box